Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Backstage update on AJ Styles signing a new WWE contract. AJ Styles reportedly signed a multi-million-dollar contract with WWE. It was recently reported that Styles signed a new multi-year contract with WWE. In an update, Fightful Select reports that Styles landed more than $3 million per year when all was said and done. Styles also had some additional bus travel accommodations paid for by WWE with this new contract. A WWE source noted that Styles, quote, deserved every penny and that he would, quote, easily make that back for the company. Styles' original WWE contract was set to expire in the spring/summer and would have had him hit free agency for the first time since leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling before he signed with WWE in January 2016. WWE officials expected Styles to have plenty of suitors, and word is that, as was the case with many other big names in the company, WWE wanted to get AJ's deal extended before he could even hit free agency and talk to any other promotions. Styles is said to be very happy in WWE and has mentioned in multiple interviews how he'd like to work for WWE when his in-ring career is over. He recently spoke with Wrestling Inc. managing editor Nick Hausman last month about signing a new deal with WWE. Quote, "It was easy. I want to be here. This is the place for me," AJ said. "If they let me, I will retire here. I hope to work in WWE in some capacity when I retire. I enjoy what I do." Styles also talked to Hausman about what he would like to do after his in-ring career, admitting a role similar to that of WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels would be great. Quote, "I would love to have that opportunity. I love to see people be successful, and having a hand in that, to me, it would probably be the best thing I could do in my career. But I don't get that opportunity, I'm just saying," he said. Styles is rumored to face WWE Hall of Famer Edge at WrestleMania 38, but nothing is official as of recording. Brock Lesnar currently favored to defeat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. WWE Champion Brock Lesnar is the early odds-on favorite to win the Champion vs. Champion match against WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns at the upcoming WrestleMania 38 Premium Live event, according to betting odds from Bet Online. Lesnar is currently listed as a favorite to defeat Reigns and become a double champion at the Showcase of Immortals. In the other main event of the two-night show, Ronda Rousey is favored to defeat SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. Meanwhile, Bianca Belair is listed as a favorite to defeat Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. The Miz and Logan Paul are favorites to defeat the Mysterios in a tag team match. Only 4 matches have been confirmed for WrestleMania 38, which emanates from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on Saturday, April 2nd and Sunday, April 3rd. Dax Harwood says Shawn Michaels made fun of him backstage at WWE Raw 25. In January of 2018, WWE celebrated Monday Night Raw's 25-year anniversary episode, where the show featured many legends including The Click, Chris Jericho, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. During their appearance on the show, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, the Revival at the time, were beat down by Triple H, Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, Scott Hall, and the New Age Outlaws. As a special guest on the latest episode of The Sessions with Renee Paquette, Harwood joined the show to speak about the transition he made from WWE to AEW, his battle with anxiety and bulimia, and revealed why Bret Hart was his favorite wrestler growing up. While talking about Bret Hart's feud with Shawn Michaels, Harwood revealed a bad experience he had with Michaels at Raw 25. Quote, "For a lot of guys, it's like, oh, it's a paycheck, who cares? But not to me," Harwood said, when talking about how upset he was following the Revival's beatdown that night. Quote, "There's a legacy I want to leave. But that happened and I talked to Shawn. That was the first time we had talked since the Performance Center days. I told him, man, this happened. I tore my bicep, went through a really dark period and thought I was going to quit. But thankfully I have the greatest wife in the world and she has supported me and brought me out of this funk and out of this dark place and I'm here now. I'm super happy." He said, "I was in the same way. I was in this very dark spot that my wife, she's beautiful, she pulled me out of this dark spot too. You and your partner are way too talented to be doing what you're doing tonight. You are way too talented to stay at this point. Just keep your nose to the ground and keep grinding and you'll get over." I said, "Oh, Shawn, thank you so much." We had this bonding moment And then we got in front of his friends, Dax Harwood continued to say. X-Pac, Hunter, Billy, Road Dogg, Scott, and as soon as we got in front of his friends, he started making fun of me and making fun of my situation and what happened with my bicep. I was like, man, I just poured my heart out to you, and as soon as we got in front of your friends, because we're going over that they're going to beat the SHIT out of us, you decide to take all of this stuff and make fun of me about it? Recently, Dax Harwood spoke about having contact with Bret Hart and what the WWE Hall of Famer had to say about FTR being the best tag team in the world. Continuing to talk about his frustration with the situation at Raw 25, Dax Harwood revealed that the only person to contact FTR about the situation was Sean Waltman. Quote, I never ever forgot it, and as soon as we were done with the business at Raw, one person said thank you to us, and that was Sean Waltman, Harwood said. Everyone else was so cold to us and treated us like we were just SHIT on the bottom of their shoes, except for Sean Waltman. I'll never forget that from Sean, and I hope there's a day that comes when we can have a conversation and I can ask him why he did that and we can reconcile if he wants to. If I love you, and if I don't, I don't. Pat McAfee weighs in on possibility of Cody Rhodes returning to WWE. It has been 1 week since Cody Rhodes announced his departure from AEW, leading to speculation that he would soon be returning to WWE. That news is quite alright with WWE announcer Pat McAfee, though he had some jokes at Rhodes' expense. McAfee commented on the Rhodes rumours on yesterday's episode of the Pat McAfee Show, referencing AEW and WWE NXT's battle during the Wednesday Night Wars. Quote, I guess Cody Rhodes is coming to WWE. I guess. Who cares, dude? McAfee joked. Him and his little friend started something. It was terrible. We actually went head to head on Wednesday. We beat them a couple of different times. Who cares, dude? To hell with Cody Rhodes. Now people are going to think I'm starting an angle with Cody Rhodes. After laughing off his opening salvo, Pat McAfee made it clear he is very excited about Rhodes returning to the WWE. He also joked about Rhodes perhaps returning as Stardust, alluding to one of the reasons Rhodes initially left WWE in 2016, an event that helped lead to AEW's formation in 2019. Quote, I'm actually pretty pumped if Cody's coming back, McAfee said. Obviously a massive name in sports entertainment. If he's coming to SmackDown, I'm excited about it. Cody Rhodes is going to be cool though in WWE. Put him back as Stardust. Seeing what he's done in AEW and seeing what he was doing in WWE, I can see why maybe he wanted to leave. But if he's back, he's back. I'm excited about it. Backstage news on continued plans for WWE Raw and NXT integration. Recent appearances on WWE Raw by talents from the company's NXT brand are only the beginning. The crossover storylines are expected to continue, according to the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer. The latest NXT performer to appear on Raw is Tommaso Ciampa. He teamed with Finn Balor for a match against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode on this week's edition of Raw and pinned Roode to get the win. Monday's match is building to a one-on-one match between Tommaso Ciampa and Dolph Ziggler on last night's episode of NXT. The winner, Dolph Ziggler, became the new #1 contender for the NXT Championship currently held by Bron Breakker. On Monday's Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer stated that the strategy since the launch of NXT 2.0 last September has been to do more crossover angles on Raw. Meltzer said WWE officials want to see at least one main roster talent involved with the NXT brand at all times, with a storyline that plays out across both shows. The preference is for that main roster talent to come from Raw. Dolph Ziggler's involvement on NXT is expected to run through at least the Stand and Deliver special during WrestleMania week. The first crossover storyline of the 2.0 era involved Raw's AJ Styles and NXT's Grayson Waller. That included Waller appearing on Raw. The storyline culminated in a match last month on NXT between Styles and Waller. Styles won that match to end the feud. WWE's goal with the crossover storylines is to attract more viewers to the new NXT 2.0. Viewership for last week's Vengeance Day special was down 26.36% from the episode that aired 1 year ago. The 18 to 49 key demo rating was down 31.25% from the show that aired 1 year ago also. NXT aired on Sci-Fi the past 2 weeks due to coverage of the Winter Olympics. WWE superstars reportedly praised at this week's Raw. This week's WWE Raw saw Bianca Belair defeat Doudrop in singles action with Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch on commentary. The Belair vs Doudrop match reportedly received rave reviews backstage according to PW Insider. The match also received similar praise on social media. WWE praised Belair on Instagram as they wrote, quote, "Are you serious, Bianca Belair? Bianca Belair wowed us all on Monday Night Raw. Belair will now challenge Lynch for the title at WrestleMania 38. So what are your thoughts on the stories covered in today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak for you again very, very soon.